What's up, everybody? It's C-Doc again, and of course, I'm here with the man himself, Mr. Chuck D. How are you tonight, sir?
I'm good, man. Here I am, and here we are. Yeah,
Yeah,
this will be interesting
right?
because like in the Biggie song, it was all a dream. With me, it was all a blur.
with both of us. I mean, it kind of crept up. I knew it was kind of coming, but when you do the math and stuff, it's hard to believe it's been 20 years since we did this record.
Yeah, man. And here's the thing about it: it's that when you stay consistent and you keep on doing it, everything is going to run into 20-year anniversaries, 35th year anniversaries,
Yeah,
40-year anniversaries, 30th year anniversaries. So this is a message to anybody out there that does you do it not to chase anything. You do it to be able to answer, your artistic muse. And
yeah,
here's a record that came out in the election year of 2004. And there was a Public Enemy first full album since I think There's a Poison Going On. So it was a 5 year period.
yeah.
Although I would say Revolution was a great combination of
Yeah.
records leading up to that point.
Yeah. Dude, so, okay, this leads me to a question because I've always been curious. I think you said it in the greatest misses liner notes. You said, this is not an album. And then you put what? So, so when you consider the public, and I get that because it's kind of a compilation. When
Right.
you consider what is the, because I was trying to figure out which number Public Enemy album this one is, which records do you count? Obviously, you don't count Greatest Misses, but I think I remember you saying once that you didn't count He Got Game either because it was a soundtrack. Is that right?
I don't know. I'm first to admit that I was crazy. And it needed a little bit of craziness to be able to create a path and a road that only Public Enemy could travel on. But in hindsight, you look back and what is an album today? It's a whole bunch
Yeah.
of different configurations. They don't have charts anymore. They have playlists. So it's sort of like now in retrospect in 2025 going to 2026, you kind of got to say all of them was albums. I can't wait for the time that and one of the contributors on this album, DJ Johnny Juice, who's full circle the lead music orchestrator for the Public Enemy live shows. He does an album after this called Beats and Places
Yeah.
that we also hope to see the marketplace. He's got to do some tightening up and legalities on stuff like that. But that's a good record as well. That 20 years from now, I mean,
Right.
20 years from back then, here we are, and
Yeah.
that was 2006. So this is the 2004,
Five.
and so it's 2000. Well, it kind of came out in 2004, right?
Well, we started working on it in 2004. It dropped.
Really?
Yeah, it dropped on November 1st, 2005. Yeah.
Wow. Because
Yeah.
I thought, remember Walter Lippard, uh, former Public Enemy manager, he made the Best Buy deal. So this record first started out not really being in the marketplace, but
Right.
coming out in the United States on Best Buy.
Yeah, it was like a month early, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah, or
on Best
something like
Buy.
that.
And then I was making back and forth travels international because I was really trying to break open the international marketplace. And Nocturne was the
Yeah,
distributor from
out of
France
France. Yeah.
to get it right throughout the rest of it. And I think that Proper was in the UK.
Mm-hmm.
So we
Yep.
made kind of international deals on the record in the United States. It was first distributed through Best Buy. So we
Yep.
wanted to do some different things. Red Eye, I think, was
Yep.
the distributor in the United States, and this is all during that talk of trying to get away from the major monster system,
Yeah.
and it worked well because then we had to deliver videos, and that's when I had a conversation with you, a veteran of the Enemy Board and the
Yes.
creator of the Impossibles, and I
Yeah.
never knew that you had Well, I did. You said that you made films, but really, this was the first album where we can have an in-house video guy with using C-Doc's company.
Yeah.
But I don't
Yeah.
even know how that conversation happened. But all I know is it opened up a flood of David C. Snyder Productions.
It was there was that camera that came out, that Panasonic DVX 100, I think it was. And you said, well, if I tell you what, you made me a deal. You said, if I get you one of these, you be the Slam Jams video guy. And I was like, okay, that's cool. And I was doing them dirt cheap. You know, I gave you a discount rate.
And
And
I think I had the first camera, and we went to Taiwan.
well, we got that was the second camera.
Oh, the
So
second. Okay, all right.
yeah. So what happened was I got the first one and I did the People video for Kyle. And when you saw the footage for it, you were like, yo, this is crazy. And we were all kind of like, wow, this looks amazing. And then
everything back then was like, oh, you're doing a video now, so you got to make your video look like $100,000, and we can't. And our thing is like, we're independent. We got Public Enemy. How can we get on BET?
Yep.
And they were just doing everything for the majors.
Yep.
And we were building something that would be along the line of Raucous. But one thing we knew, that Raucous wasn't making videos. No independent was making videos.
No, not at that point in time, because it was too expensive. It was still too expensive, Or if they were doing videos, they put them on
that looked like 10 cents.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it looked like. And so, yeah, man, but it looked official. And then we got the second camera. You guys went to Taiwan, and then I met you guys in Hawaii, and we shot just a ton of footage for all those videos.
We shot something which has now become like a staple in hip hop music and catalog, where and C-Doc, you instituted this pioneering thing. It's like, okay, in the 80s when we were making records, there was no video.
Yeah.
And even if we did make a record, only 1 or 2 videos were done. So why not make videos for songs that never had videos?
Yeah.
And that's when we shot Prophets of Rage. In Hawaii.
Yep.
And the footage was for Bring That Beat Back. Produced by Abnormal. A record we totally wouldn't be getting away with today with that Motown sample.
Yeah.
Lord have mercy. Well, see, that was one of the things about doing independently, because you're under the radar. And so you can get distributed in the stores, and nobody's really like sniffing your rug like that.
Yeah, exactly. We got away with a lot. So
got away with a lot, man. And get it in the stores, get it around the world. We're under the radar yet, and still it's Public Enemy. So we say Public Enemy, next to Prince at that particular time.
Yeah.
And we got into the racks, and it worked really well for Red Eye. But other things that we distributed here, you did videos. We did videos for groups on Slam Jams at that time, 3 to 4 deep.
Yeah,
that you shot, Doc, with that camera, and then further technology to come on. So, this was the first one, New World Order, Public Enemy. The title actually came from something that I heard Dr. Dre, West Coast Dr. Dre, came up and said, "Yeah, I'm working on something called New World Order," and I waited and waited for that release. It never came out, so I just snatched it. But I snatched it in a Public Enemy way, and that's by the cover, which is done by longtime illustrator Paul Stone.
Yeah, Paul Stone from the UK, right?
Out of the UK, because out of Paul Stone comes Darren Holton.
Yeah,
and they were really taking, you know me, I don't like to be photographed. I hate cameras. And then, wow, we could get some PE artwork done out of these great illustrators.
Yeah.
And Paul Stone, who I've discovered Paul Stone online, and he had a compilation of a whole bunch of rap heads, a great rap poster he was putting out there. And I said, hey, would you mind doing something, for PE? There you go.
Yeah.
And he went through a gigantic. So he was really one of the first illustrators that we worked with during the millennium, and I still have that poster of the cover on my wall in a different configuration.
Yeah. Yep. I remember seeing that. Yeah, really, really dope. He did. So, correct me if I'm wrong, but this was supposed to be one of two records that you wanted to drop simultaneously. The second one being "How You Sell Soul to a Soulless People Who Sold Their Soul,"
Right,
which came out a couple years later. But Paul also did the artwork for that as well. I think, right?
right, right.
Yeah.
And it was a two set, and in fact, the How You Sell Soul ended up being a record that had, I guess, one of Public Enemy's greatest selling records
Yeah.
that came to life 5 years after that album. But back to the 2005 album, like you say, New World Order, it was the one that really set off an independent venture around the world. And
Yeah.
before that, with Revolution really was the first. No, the first was There's a Poison Going.
Poison. Yeah.
But that was Atomic Pop and dealing with Play It Again, Sam Records. And so we had a pretty good time wandering through the independent forest of okay, how are we going to do this? Oh, how let's do this over here. So that was
Yeah.
an interesting time.
Yeah. Do you speaking of Johnny Juice's joints, I always thought the contributions for this record, the title track and Preaching to the Choir were really underrated because they're really good records.
Yeah, Johnny Juice was able to bring like a different, well, they're really not different, but he was bringing that stop and go,
Mm-hmm.
sudden turn production to the table, with all records and samples that were kind of they were under the radar too.
Yeah.
And he had first started re-experimenting with this technique, on Revolution.
Yep. Give the
Yeah, but
peeps.
he's yeah, Get the Peace What They Need was still a amazing, song. So like I said, legality wise, we to release and re-release a lot of the Johnny Juice production is just about getting the clearances for the samples to be streamed.
Yeah.
You
Yep.
know,
Um,
but if you got one of those CDs, hold on to it because it's one of those vintage things that's a keepable keepsake.
yeah. And I mean, we were only doing CDs back then.
Only doing CDs back then, so there might be a future where New World Order is pressed up,
Yeah.
and
Yep.
that's under the radar.
And
You
that's
can
under.
do a lot of things under the radar on
Yeah.
pressings.
Yeah. We'll figure that out.
We'll
Won't
figure
we?
that out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um.
And like I said, that begat Beats in Places, which is another where we did a song Air Conditioning, which is like Juice was on the road.
Beats and Places was kind of so there was another thing. It was a flurry of recording for those what was supposed to be the two albums together. Wasn't Beats and Places was like stuff that was kind of left over, right?
Yeah, well, it was a bridge album, and then Juice
Yeah.
put reproductions around it, which made it
Right.
pretty dope.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, we were smack dab in the middle of the rhythm section of Public Enemy, Kari Wynn,
Yeah.
Brian Hardgroove, DJ Lord, and also Michael Faulkner on the drums.
Yep.
With Kari Wynn, Michael Faulkner, and Hardgroove, and then later on, Michael Faulkner, you know, leaves and T-Bone comes in, and then Hardgroove leaves and Baby D comes in. But that's
Yeah.
later on in that decade.
Yeah.
Uh, but in this area, right around now, in 2004, we had a rhythm unit that was really forming well together with Hardgroove, Faulkner, and Kyrie
Yeah.
and
Yep.
Lord. And Lord was
And
a
Lord,
component
yeah.
of that, right? Those four.
Yep.
And it was a solid backing unit. So when it came down to even doing those songs, they were able to pull it off in great rehearsals.
Yeah. Um, I also got my first shot at producing a song
That's
uh,
right.
from scratch.
Right. You, you
And
you you know you end up being like like the football player that plays offense and defense.
yeah,
This
yeah,
is the first album you're making videos and the first album that you actually produced a song that Superman's Black in the Building.
yeah, yep. Which was originally, if I'm remembering correctly, when I sent you the beat and you emailed me back like 20 minutes later. You're like, I'm already writing to it, and
Yeah.
it's called Makes You Blind. But
Yeah.
then you changed it.
I changed
That
it.
became another record.
I've done that type of stuff before because like on back in the day, way before that on Apocalypse, um, Shut 'Em Down was originally By the Time I Get to Arizona.
Right.
Then I wrote Shut 'Em Down on it and moved Arizona over to the Mandrill sample.
Yeah.
But this time I was working on Makes You Blind on Superman's Black in the Building. And it ended up being Superman's Black in the Building and Makes You Blind went on something else.
Yeah. Something else. But yeah. It's still Superman is still I think the longest song in the PE
Long as it
catalog.
was, well, how long? 17 minutes?
No, it's almost 12.
Almost 12, right.
Yeah.
I got it mixed up with Sugar Hill is back in the building.
Right.
But yeah. The thing I remember about Superman's Black in the Building, um, we got the great Gene Barge to play on
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And I come to you and said I don't care if this record is 90 minutes long because I was on some Isaac Hayes stuff right then,
Well,
right?
it was I know that I said to you because I was messing around with the second part. Like I came up with that where the beat like changes tempo and I said, "Hey, you mind if we like extend this out a little bit?" And you're like, "Nah, just do whatever." I was like, "Okay, cool." And then then you called me and you were like, "Yo, how about we get Gene Barge on this record?" And I was like, "Wait, what?" And then after we got Gene out, you're like, "Yeah, you just make that shit as long as you want to make it."
Yeah. And when I went in Chicago, Gina set it up because I met Gina and Gene on the Godfathers and Son documentary, and we've
Yeah.
been lifelong friends since then. Me and Gina and Daddy G.
Yeah.
Transitioned last year at 98, so he had a great long run. And I remember going in and recording in the studio that Gina set up. And I remember Gene was like, "What key? What key?" And I was like, "I don't know. Just play what you want."
Yeah,
And he
just
kept
play whatever you
staring
want.
at me. He kept staring at me. It was like, just tell me what key. I was like, whatever key,
Yeah, we're
we'll
hip
make the
hop
most.
guys.
We'll make the most out of it. And I think after
Yeah.
that same session, we recorded for Escapism,
Yes,
which
exactly.
came out on the How You Sell Soul record.
Yeah, exactly. I think Silent Partner. What's up, bro? I think and peace to everybody watching and everybody in the chat. Um I think originally when it was going to be two records that came out simultaneously that I think you said Superman was going to be on the Soul album, but then that
Right.
got switched around, you
I
know.
don't know. I don't know if it was difficult with the distributor at the time. I don't know. It's kind of I used to be able to remember details like that, but now it's like it's easy to say I don't care. But it
Yeah,
is
no,
what
that
it is.
I think that's what it was. It was a goofy thing that they didn't want two albums by the same artist in the marketplace at the same time or something. They were
Yeah.
still
It
weird
was
about
still
it.
like it. Yeah, major labels were still weird at Prince about it.
Right, exactly. Because Prince was trying to do that stuff all the time.
And we were coming across and saying, "Listen, man, every CD needs to have a DVD," but we didn't do it on this
Yeah.
album.
No, we did.
We did. Oh, that's right. Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
right. We
It
did.
wasn't in the Best Buy version.
Right.
It
That's
wasn't
true.
in the Best Buy version,
You're bringing
but
memories back to my memory on it because I
yeah,
remember doing.
yeah,
I remember doing the detailed layouts in the back end of the DVD.
yeah. I think you
Can't
did
believe
all
I
the
did
menus.
stuff like that. I did artwork, I did
Yeah,
Photoshop, and
yeah,
I did actually DVD layout deliveries.
yeah,
How
yep,
did I do that, man? I think I all I did was lay it out and deliver the files.
yeah. Because I don't. The one thing I don't remember is who. Because it was before I was doing DVD authoring, so there was
Right.
another company that did it. I think they were
Right.
out of North Carolina.
Exactly. Yeah. And Red
Yeah,
Eye gave me a reference to oh man, I forgot dude's name, but him and his wife
yeah,
did DVD authoring. It's on the liner notes.
yeah.
They were really cool for. Remember at that same time, Doc, I was writing monthly pieces for the Elemental magazine.
Yes. Yeah. And we were doing ads. They
We
gave
were
us ad
doing
space.
ads,
Yeah,
right?
that's
And
right.
that was a great magazine. And I started out doing writing for Elemental. That it started it. It was real simple. I liked the magazine. I picked it over at Criminal Records over in Atlanta in my Atlanta days. I liked the magazine, and then I drove over to them. I said, "Hey, you want me to write? I need to. Would you like if I wrote a monthly piece with you guys?" And they was just like, these two guys in a office was like they had loaded boxes around,
Right.
and they couldn't believe I stopped by there and just said, "Hey, I'll write for you guys." I mean, let's say, well, how much would you want? I'm like, well, just put my record label in as a free ad, and then we'll trade it off like that.
Yeah. Yep. That was cool stuff. They that was a great magazine, man.
Great
And
magazine.
they ended up moving to Brooklyn.
Yeah, it was in that pocket where everything traditional was just going by the wayside.
Yeah.
Um, CDs were struggling,
Yep.
DVDs were and we wanted to be able to. We first got the taste of CD and DVD with MVD, who
Yeah.
full circle. We've been doing distribution with them the
Yep.
last few years, like last decade. But
Yeah.
back in the day, that started out by me just driving to the headquarters in Pennsylvania. Hey, would you mind being a distributor? We could put
Right.
rap records in the middle of DVD cases.
Right. Exactly.
I
Which
talked to the
was
owner, Ed Seaman, and it was like they couldn't believe I stopped by there. And I was like, well, and this all this came about, Doc, because if you're going to say no to the majors and you ain't going to have people investing money into you, then you really got to get innovative with the art.
yeah. Yep. Yeah.
They ain't going to show our videos, so put that DVD player in, and we'll give you our world.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
You
It
know,
was
did
it
you?
was revolutionary thinking, man, at the time.
Well, did you feel that you you had some wings to spread at that time? It was a good like kind of like a workshop for you to put your
Oh,
visionary talents in.
oh yeah, it was guerrilla filmmaking boot camp, really. Because I mean, you would call me, hey, come to New York, I'd shoot 5 videos. Come to Atlanta, I'd shoot 6 more, or whatever. And
There needs to be a documentary, a documentary on your prowess, Doc, because when you look back on that period, man, you paved a lot of roads independently. You did
yeah,
basically what independent rap records did when they pressed up records and tapes and stuff like that. You did that on the videos because I think you shot like 150 videos.
it was crazy. It was crazy how many, and we were doing like mini documentaries too on the artists.
Right.
You
Mini
know,
documentaries.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
a lot of the documentaries got their start and in the bonus area. So, yeah,
yeah,
man, that area, like you said, if it gave you a little, it let your wings spread a little bit.
yeah.
Did it help your filmmaking?
Oh, of course, of course. That was always the beautiful thing about doing music videos was I could try things, and if they didn't work, it didn't really matter because it was a music video. And so that, again, it was learning on the fly, and I could take all that knowledge and apply it to making feature films now. So, I still rip off ideas from music videos all the time.
Yeah, man. I remember and this is slightly related. It's like when you spent, like we released the Dirty North record,
Yeah.
and we shot with Tirade and the partner and in the club, and
Yeah. That's right.
and, and we shot footage on Martyr. Great
Yeah.
songs too. Great
Yeah.
songs. Great videos.
I love the Marta one. It was a great song, and the video really worked with them riding around and shit on the
Yeah.
trains. Yeah.
We had nobody invested and funded in us at all. But I
No.
do thank Red Eye for giving us a shot
Yeah.
for releasing a ton of product with them that kind of sat in warehouses too, because
Yeah.
things were closing up. I mean, a tragedy happened as far as closure, and that was Tower Records going down.
Yeah.
And Tower Records would have been our number one supporting store.
Yeah.
And then we were able to squeak into Borders, but within years, all of those stores are gone.
Yeah.
Last store that stayed open for us was Fry's.
Wow. Fries. Yeah.
They really helped the independents
Yeah.
and hard goods.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So, how did you get the? Because I was trying to remember where did the Al Sharpton intro come from?
The Al Sharpton intro came from the James Brown funeral itself, and then I reached out to Reverend Al, and he gave us clearance to use it.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember.
Yep, he gave us permission to use it. I was
Yeah.
like, "Hey, Reverend Al, we doing the thing," and it really, we used it on the James Brown, the trip to JB a year later.
Trip to JB. Yep. All through that. Yeah.
All through that. Yeah.
Yep. That's right. Yeah. I remember it was ended up on, I think, Mojo out of the UK really
They dug that record.
Dug that record a lot. Yeah.
Dug that record. It really reached, and it was a very innovative combination of producers, yourself, Juice, Abnormal, remixes by the Drew. Tell me more songs that's on that album, and I'll maybe give you a quick story.
DJ Lord Showcase. Check what you're listening to.
That's right.
Yeah.
I was getting Lord in the studio for the first time.
Wow.
And Lord is quirky, as you know. He's quirky. Yeah. He has a very specific taste. So to actually putting that into a DJ record, and I think my experiences from DJ records was producing Terminator's first 2 albums with Def Jam, but
right,
that was 12 years earlier. Coming out of the form of a lot of the Davey DMX stuff with the One for the Trouble and the instrumentals from the 80s and putting the vocal on top of it, make a DJ record. And Check What You're Listening To is a Lord favorite.
Yeah, definitely. Revolution, that Griff brought.
Griff produces Revolution with his funky style.
Yep.
And not only does it's got funky swerve to it.
Yep.
We get down not only just with the record, but we do the video down there in Club Mecca.
Yeah.
Janelle Holmes had a hookup with Club Mecca and downtown Atlanta, and Griff did his thing, production-wise and rhyme-wise.
Yeah. Yeah, that was always a really good record. Great record.
Yeah, Griff's production style always underrated, and somehow, hopefully in the future, we get and collaborate again on his music and rhymes.
Talk about the I think was the actual unofficial first single, but Make Love Fuck War with Moby.
Yeah, and me going into Manhattan and getting involved with that project, which was speaking loud at that time. Remember, I just finished doing a stint at Air America, which was trying to get the Bush out, but it didn't
Yeah.
succeed. But Make Love Fuck War, um, the way I spelled it would be a great T-shirt today.
Yes.
But yeah, Moby went in there with a certain set of lyrics out in his area of Lower Manhattan. Um, Went in there, laid down vocals, and it was one of those things. Him as a music and a dance maker, and I should say a music maker for dance and all these other things. It was really enjoyable working with Moby
Yeah. That's dope.
because I knew what Moby would bring to the table. Nobody else would bring in the same way.
Yeah, sure. Exactly. And that was kind of I remember you also let me, this was the first PE record I got to sequence.
That's right.
Yeah.
That was a very important thing because me personally, I was burnt out of sequencing. I'm burnt out of a lot of things like making lineup sets. I kind of defer a lot of these things, but that was the first time I said, well, because you only could defer that job to somebody who knows what you've done before.
Mhm.
And I think you told me that you got into the detail of sequencing and how records were sequenced, and I was like, yeah, it was a very specific, careful art for us back in the day.
Yeah.
But since you get it, you got it if you want it,
Yeah.
and you've been sequencing ever since.
I've done all the albums except for Man Plans. Yep.
Right.
So, but it was slightly daunting. But you gave me, you did have a couple of requests. You said New World Order has to start it, and Superman's Black has to end it. I was like, okay. You
Yeah.
said, and then bring that beat back towards the beginning somewhere. So
Yeah. Yeah.
those were your only requests.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, you sequenced it very well, and also like, I remember the video Superman's Black in the Building. I have my old beat up BMW, and I remember you came up with a technique where you drove around me.
Yeah, I think it was a tirade driving. I
Yeah,
think.
yes, somebody drove around me, and they got me
Yeah.
hands in the air. But we were recording videos in Atlanta that doesn't look like that anymore.
Right.
Right now, man, you go down there, that part of Atlanta, man, there's 50 tall buildings there now.
Wow.
Before, Atlanta used to be like Charlotte.
Yeah.
But
Exactly.
even now, Charlotte has tall buildings galore
Right.
now. So right now, you could probably compare. Back then, you could compare Atlanta to maybe how Montgomery looks now, or
Yeah.
Birmingham. Probably
Yeah.
Birmingham more.
Birmingham. Yeah.
Yeah, it had that Birmingham look back then. Birmingham stayed the same,
Right.
and Nashville and Atlanta have exploded.
Have
It's kind
exploded.
of
Yep.
yeah, yeah. But
Um.
but doing that video was fun too because I remember like it was late. Wow, man, how late? That was had to be the
Oh yeah.
latest we ever did the video. And it is one thing about the song. It's one of my first songs that I allowed co-writers to write something, and I did this speech from
Yeah.
James. It was James Baum's first written piece. And I
Yep.
encouraged it. But I shouldn't have did it word for word. Oh, I did it word for word. So there's things that James said and wrote and believed that I necessarily don't believe verbatim line for line, but I
Right.
said it anyway. So a lot of times when people are like, oh yeah, if you said this, I'm like, yeah, but I kind of really said something that James wrote.
Right.
So yeah,
Yeah. That whole extended
yeah,
piece at the end. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So, you recorded your vocals for Superman in Cleveland. You were there for a
Yes,
lecture.
yeah. And also they did the remix on it too.
Yeah, Molly T was the
Yeah,
guy.
yeah,
Yep.
Molly T. And the
Yep.
thing about it, and that was a trade-off too. It's like you
Hmm.
get a chance to do the remix and come up with the vocals, and they did a good job on the remix too.
Yeah, they did.
Well, we had just gotten into the movement for the last 5 years of saying that your vocals can end up being anything. Because what before that we had contests on acapellas, and this
Yeah,
was like the first era where people were taking vocals and twisting and turning them and making them do things they never did before.
that is true. Computers open that production um, options way, just blew the hell out of it. You could just literally do anything at
Right.
that point. Yeah. And then, of course, you recorded Juice's stuff in New York, right, with him.
Yeah, right at the New York studios, and the thing about it is that Juice and Abnormal had studios that we had built where they could spend, days and hours refining a song. That
Yeah,
was, it was one of the times in my life where, you could wake up and do a song,
yeah,
and it was like, and before then, in the 90s, a studio meant that you got to go get an invoice, got to book time, be with a professional studio. They're going to run out of time. You got to go to the studio. And then we built a slew of homegrown studios in Atlanta and New York, and a lot of product came up out of there,
yeah,
and your studio too, as
yeah,
well. So, as a matter of fact, when we came up with the Impossibles was really the beginning of connecting studios together, which was connecting MCs together, and then
yep,
tying it up in the end result. So yeah, yeah,
yeah, yeah. That kind of like remote studio, mixing and recording really. I mean, it's a thing now, but
yeah. It's a thing now, right?
back when we were doing it,
Woo,
like people
that was
thought,
something, man.
yeah, like we're like one of the first to be doing stuff
Definitely.
like that. Yeah, it's
It was a ball too. It was a ball process seeing the internet was a big jump for us because the fact that you can make something and get it heard that same night made change was a game changer to
yeah,
everything.
yep,
You know.
yeah, that is true. We did a lot. We did a lot of crazy stuff. It was fun.
But how crazy is it when today it's normal?
Yeah, it's commonplace.
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's what's it's interesting.
Yeah, I
But
think on the next one, Beats and Places, a record that was enjoyable for me was Grand Theft Oil.
Grand Theft Oil was great.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that was on the next album because I
Yep.
think it was supposed to be on New World Odor, but it wasn't. It was on the next album, and that was compiled up with things spreading into 2007.
Yeah, there was I know that you recorded so much stuff, so much material around the New World Order, how you sell soul records, just to in order to get the record done to get it out, songs just didn't get finished.
Well,
And
we were scraping the barrel for Flavor's involvement.
yeah,
He
that's true
didn't. He didn't
too.
put a lot of involvement in those years. It was on and off in areas.
Yeah.
We couldn't get him in the studio because at that time it was the Flavor of Love that was out.
Oh, that's right.
So to get him to come in the studio and
That's
actually
right.
spend 2 hours in the studio is like he's already doing TV. I said just come in the studio for an hour. We could get you a couple of times we're in the studio, and
Yeah.
you have
Yep.
to super record everything. Record him going to the bathroom. Record him ordering food. Record him just record him. We'll figure
Yep.
out where
Just
he's
get
gonna
it.
be.
We'll figure out where it goes. Yep. That's right. I remember those days where you're like, all right, here's Flavor's parts, and you sent me like two long ass files, and it was just like, okay, just make it work. And
Yeah, but
we did.
those long ass files got dwindled down to short files after a while.
Yeah.
It remind me of the full turkey comes in and then it leaves bones, and all of a sudden you're in the gristle trying to make something out of the gristle.
Yep. Yeah. Yes, indeed.
Yeah,
Oh
the guy
man.
that caught the last end of that turkey was Sammy Sam.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was the end of the turkey.
Stripped it Stripped it bone dry, man.
Bone dry, bone down to bone soup,
Yep.
bone flavor soup.
Bone flavor soup. Yep. So, yeah, 20 years of New
What else
World
is on
Order.
that album again? Remind me.
I guess we did. Well, yeah, we touched on Bring That Beat Back.
Yeah, bring
What a
that beat
Fool
back.
Believes.
Well, that's another Griff production.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a dope record that a lot of people didn't quite. I don't think they got it.
they got it, but we performed it.
Yeah,
We
that's right. You
performed it
did.
quite a few times. You know,
It was a good live
uh,
record.
good live record,
Yeah.
and you know, and then because it was also something that we were able to incorporate with the musicians,
Yeah.
not
Exactly.
fully, but just partially. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But
Um, and then Abnormal's other contribution was Makes You Blind that we had
makes you
mentioned.
blind. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Makes you blind. I mean, Ab had a series of beats that he had, but that beat was laying around and for 2 or 3 years, and then I decided to say, okay, makes you blind. Um, Drew did a remix on it later.
Oh, okay. I remixed it too.
But you remixed it too? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I think it's on the box set.
Okay.
I
Which was
think.
also an interesting release. That
Yes, it
maybe one day
was.
we'll get to talk about the box set.
Yeah.
It needs
Yeah.
its own documentary too, since everything is documented. So, but
Yeah.
yeah. What else?
Well, I was gonna ask you. I know what I wanted to ask you about. I just want to find their names. The girls that did the backup vocals.
Oh yeah, yeah. Terry and they were Kyle's singers.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, yes. And Terry was big time for us because they came in and we recorded them, and I knew exactly parts that they did record them. I think I spread that over 3 or 4 or 5 different records and different artists and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Was it
So,
Terry and Tracy? But they're on it. They're properly credited. That's why credits are so important. Because I remember those were singers that Kyle Jason had worked with, and they
okay.
were such a big help, and they were happy I was able to send them a check. And it's
Yeah.
something back then I used to, going into my files, I actually wrote so many different checks.
I had a bunch of those checks. Yeah.
And still the text was like, yo, man, you got to make sure you have this and that. And professional
Yep.
people do it. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Um,
did my best.
you did it. You did. You did do your best. Revolution. Check what we're listening to. As long as the people got something to say. Griff.
Another Griff. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
because that end, I decided to have a vocal that was kind of playing on top of the Sly and the Family Stone remix.
Mm.
The Sly and the Family Stone remix album had like, once again, rest in beats, D'Angelo on it,
D'Angelo. Yep.
Isaac Hayes,
Yep.
Bernie Worrell, Steve Jordan produced it, and yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
And I didn't know the thing about it, recording that song, Sing a Simple Song, which I was doing an MC style. It was just me and Isaac in the studio.
Yeah.
And Steve Jordan and Bernie Worrell. I have a picture from that day, and also Russell Simmons, not Russell Simmons, but Russell Simmons from what's the name of Russell's band? And it's Simins, and I've done
Oh,
some things with him too. Um, Damn, man, I keep getting mixed up with with Blues Traveler, but that wasn't his band.
oh, got you.
But anyway, he was in the studio that night too as well, and we knocked that out. So at the end of that track, as long as the people got something to say,
Yeah. Yeah.
so I decided to make the whole thing and blended it with Griff's track to be as long as the people have
Ah,
something to say.
gotcha.
and Griff had his herky jerky change up gear style,
Yeah.
and it worked perfect in the chorus. And he puts enough. He had whatever he was, and that would be interesting. Like how he recorded was just a meshing of styles, and whatever that machine was, he had that machine and recorded that machine as he did. Like when the sample tails off and another one comes in, it's kind
Yeah.
of offbeat.
Yeah.
I, that's a unique style. I love that style, man,
Yeah.
because it was full of mistakes, and the mistakes were funky.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
yeah, those three records that Griff contributed to New World Order was something else.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was. Oh, DJ Lord Jazz and the what's up, Lord Jazz from Leaders. Or yeah. Low Tug. Sorry.
Yep. Yep.
Um. Anyway, no. I
Lords of the
think
Underground.
Lords of the Underground. I was gonna say Leaders in New School. Ugh. Anyway.
Well, it comes around that period where people were being illustrative with their
Yes.
names, and that was a wonderful time. A tribe called Quest. It's like
Right.
we
Yeah.
look,
Sorry, Lord Jazz.
we look for. Well, last time I remember Lord Jazz was actually getting down and just busting it up on a boat in the middle of the French River.
Wow.
Yeah, we was in one of the rivers that's in the middle of Paris, and Lord Jazz is up there getting them gone down. So, Lord Jazz, yeah,
Yeah. Um. No. For as
Juice, yeah, preaching to the quiet.
Preaching to the Quiet.
That
Yeah,
was
man.
that was a lot of fun because it's
It's a
like,
dope record.
yeah, dope record, yeah.
And New World Order, I didn't even realize it until because I had remixed that as well.
Mhm.
I didn't realize that you had done all the different vocal stuff in the background. There's a lot going on in that song that you don't really notice right away. You got to really listen to it. So.
Yeah, in my weird ass mind, I thought I was Marvin Gaye doing like a rap version of what's going on with background vocals. Well, I always thought that a lot of rap records never especially at that time, because it was like rap music up front, but
Right.
background vocal arrangement was not the thing, and that's why with Terry and I think Terry and Deborah singing the background vocals, I used that over 4 or 5 different tracks. So it was
Yeah.
more like not just the front, but it's the background vocals who are in harmony with the track, but also doing things that what Motown background singers would do.
Right.
So that's what was used. The background vocals are very important in that record, and so therefore there's a lot of things that we're doing. Remember, we have the time in the studio because it was like at that time we had broken away from go to the studio, pay for the time and all that.
Yeah.
No, this was like, now you get a chance to sit with something and wake up in the middle of the night and go down and be like, okay, I'm gonna put these background vocals up in there. So
Yeah. Yeah. I remember that I worked on Superman's Black for a long time because I was still working kind of a regular job at that point. And
yeah,
so I would come home and just work for 3 or 4 hours at night and just move things around. And yeah, that song really blew up into something.
into something, right?
Yeah, that we didn't initially expect. So
Yeah, it became like a theme, and that, like I said, that idea comes from like the Isaac Hayes 12-minute, 15
yeah,
minute record of go where you want to make it and don't think you make it any mistakes. Take it where you want. And if they
yep,
call you crazy, then we all crazy.
yeah. But it worked. I mean, people really like that song.
Yeah, they sure did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and shout out to Juice for he engineered the session where we brought the live players in,
Right,
um, uh,
right.
Bones and Chris, and they were able to kind of stretch out and do some dope things that extended period or extended section of the song.
Right.
So
And that was a, like I said, he would explain best, but in those times, there was a trafficking in and out of good musicians coming in and laying stuff down. And I
yeah,
think it was a learning process where even Juice learned more about recording himself.
yep,
And like I said, we had a lot of albums come up out of there.
we did.
A
Had a
lot
lot.
of albums, man.
Yep, a lot
It's
of.
due for a documentary.
Yep, that third place studio and a lot of album. Not only a lot of albums, but just songs in general. Because we were still, I think we were still doing Slam Jam singles,
Yeah,
right?
we were doing Slam Jam singles.
Yeah.
People coming in there, Ken Do coming in there with his grandiose dreams and stuff like that. You know, Ken Do D the Mill
Right.
getting with you and like, yo, Doc, I want to be able to swing from the top of the building, and then all of a sudden I'm gonna intercept an airplane, and I'm gonna go in and snatch cookies from the pilot, and then spread them down and crush bits onto towns that need water. All
Yes.
for yeah, okay, for $500, right?
Yep. Sure.
That's all right.
Sure.
Do would be like, that's all right. I'll come up with it.
Yeah. Ah, but yeah.
That's fun, man.
Yep. No, a lot of great stuff out of that time. Ken Do, Kyle was doing a lot, recorded a lot.
Man, Kyle recorded a lot back. Kyle looks back on a lot of those songs right now and be like, "Yo, I do that." You know what Kyle looks back on? The covers that I made too. I would make covers
Oh
for,
yeah.
for each individual song, and he'd
Yep.
be like, "Oh, that's dope." And then it's
Yep.
like, and then Kyle would hear a song that was like, let's say if was playing something like from Sam Cooke.
Yeah.
Kyle would hear it, and sure enough, in the middle of the night, he'd be in the studio twirling away, like making the song that he heard,
Yeah.
and that led us right into the Trip to JB project.
Yep.
Really smooth because we knew where the musicians were,
Yep.
the engineering technique. I think the studio at that time was already honed in as far as its acoustics and things like that.
Yep.
A lot of things were cut there. Good stuff.
Yeah. A lot of stuff. Yep. That was headquarters for when I would come to New York to do videos too. So
Yeah, it was a good time, a good and now we're talking like when we used to hear the stories about like people talk about Motown and Stax,
yeah.
but that was our Motown and Stax period. Although we didn't have the outside fanfare,
Yeah.
but we knew what it was,
Yeah.
and we still got a great story to tell.
Yep. Those records are still here. So
Yeah.
exactly. Thank you for your time, Mr. Chuck.
Yeah, man. I felt like I've stepped back, and you said 2005. So if I missed a year in there, I'm like trying to say, well, what? I know I had to do Air America in 2004. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think it was
And
tooling together.
I'm almost positive we started recording it because the Superman started because I was on the enemy board
Right.
and it was either in the Terror Dome or you did a post where you said I'm writing new songs for new records. And someone said, I would love to hear a song like Shut 'Em Down, like with big loud drums. And I thought, oh, I'll make the song like that. And then it didn't sound anything like Shut 'Em Down at all. But I was like, this is really kind of dope. So I'm going to send it anyway, and we'll just see what happens. And I emailed it to you. And like I said, 20 minutes later, you hit me back. You're like, I'm already writing to it.
Already
I'm like, oh,
writing.
shit.
Well,
So,
with me, the thing was different with me that somebody, and they don't know me, you know me, so
yeah.
I'm not that difficult.
Right.
When it comes to you, because I mean, and I'm not going to be judgmental because the worst and the ugliest that you send something, I probably would want to tackle that than something that was just obviously dope that my mom want to get on or something like
Right.
that. I mean, so easy that you go blah, 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 and it was just dope. So
Right.
the fact that you was presenting something and seeing, hey, let's see where it goes was
Yeah.
something that made me like interested. And it's it's it, it's real. And I know you get a lot of this from people, but I've seen 22 years of your evolution in production,
That is true.
all the
Yep.
way into producing the latest Public Enemy albums and Enemy Radio, and it's been a wild road, man.
Yo, man, I can't thank you enough because music was something I did for fun.
Mm,
And it was something that was a hobby, and I loved it. I loved rap and I love hip hop so much that I just wanted to be involved somehow.
mhm.
And I just did it to do it. And I had friends that would do it and stuff like that. And you gave me my first real opportunities to make records. And yo, man, I can't thank you enough, bro.
You don't have to thank me at all because the proof comes with the pudding, man. It's like your stuff ranks. It's there. It's been heavily reviewed, and if we haven't gotten the spoils, or you haven't gotten the spoils for all your work, all it takes is making your own documentary about it, and I'll be first to vouch for it because I've seen 21 years of sonic brilliance and visual brilliance from him. So
Thank you.
yeah, it's hard to
Yeah.
tell your own story, but I think we're gonna
Yeah.
have to get to that.
Yeah. We'll get to it. Yeah. We'll get to it. You got to do it at some point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, the time is now is 2026. So
It is. Yep. So thank you, sir. Thanks for everybody tuning in. Appreciate it. And we'll see everybody tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on Channel Zero for a new episode of It's C-Doc again. We will be talking to Errol Eats Everything. So tune in for that one.
I played a lot of Errol Eats Everything on the You Don't Stop show this year. Yeah,
It's such a
yeah.
great record, man.
Great record. Played various songs from it.
Yeah.
So I'll be looking forward to looking at that from the outside looking in. It might poke my head in.
All right. Word up. So thank
All
you,
right.
everyone. Peace.
Peace.